episode 46, part 2 of Kenya's premier sports video podcast, the Three Quarters Podcast. We'd like to remind you to jump onto the hashtag Road to Japan, support the Kenya Simbas as they are still looking to qualify for the Rugby World Cup in 2019 in Japan. And as we are all about supporting sports and sports travel, we've partnered with Moran Sports and Travel to give you this brilliant offer for the Dubai Sevens on the 1st and 2nd of December. So for only $999 you get the full Dubai experience. This is your desert safari, your nighttime barbecue, and your dog cruise. This and much more coming up on your screen. Start the Three Quarters Podcast would like to offer our sincere condolences to the families of Mike Okombe, John Wakesa and Peter Wakesa following their losses this weekend. I'm Demima Duffield.
This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jeringus Kenyana.
So our bad man of the week comes from our feature game, which is Quins versus Homeboys. Who's your bad man?
My bad man. I'm going to stick to Kevin Masai. I think he had a very good outing. The first night of Floodlights. I'd note that the break that he made and then offloaded to Mohammed, that resulted to a try. That was some brilliance, some flashes of brilliance, and then his drop kick in the first time. That was some skill right there that he really displayed. He controlled the game quite well at 10. Then eventually, I think I saw him move to 15, which was not so bad, but all in all, brilliant game for him. Yeah.
Well, a couple of guys to mention. Mohamed Omolo, of course, had a very good debut for Homeboys. I felt like, especially in the first half, Isaac Ademo had a very good game at 12, which resulted in him scoring a try, of course. But I'd agree with you. Kelvin Masai, especially just at the fringes, at the base of the rock, the way he operates there. And it's his signature move. And you know the most unfortunate thing is that he's going to break there. You know he's going to break there.
And there's nothing,
but there's nothing you can do about it. So I'll agree with this. Kelvin Masai is my bad man of the week.
All right, well done to him.
Yep.
I mean, I'm used to saying well done to those boys, but well done to him.
Yep.
All right, now moving on to Rugby 101. Guys, how well do you know your rugby lingo?
Yeah, so as we keep saying, we're trying to demystify the rugby lingo, and so that when you go for these games, whether it's Floodlights, Kenya Cup, an international Kenya Simbas game, when guys are having conversations, you don't float. You know exactly what's happening. So today we're going with a term again that's it's particular to the Kenya rugby fraternity, and it's wheels. So if you hear guys saying
wheels,
exactly that means that the person they're talking about is a very fast runner. So you normally say, hey, Umsana wheels. Yeah. So basically it's just like a fast guy, one of the first guys who let their man on wheels. So that's our Rugby 101 term for today.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, the Kenya 15 squad traveled today to Hong Kong for the Cup of Nations. What do you guys think of that squad, and how do you think they'll do?
I mean, so this is squad. What people, of course, are talking about is the drop. Isaac Ademo being dropped. It's not on form. It's not on talent. It's more to do with discipline issues. I think there are a couple of sessions he missed. And Jerome Pervert, the head coach, came out and said that, look, it's not about his talent, it's more to do with the discipline issues. All in all, I think it's a good squad, being captained by Wilson Kopondo. Nato Simi is back at number 10. Biko Adema has also been carried as the number 10. I also like the fact that Alex Walaba is part of the team, so we're kind of seeing like a generational change.
And he's not in sevens.
He's not in sevens, exactly. George Nyambo is there. So I think it, and we were unfortunate not to see what I consider the premier lock pairing, second row pairing in Kenya. That's Wilson Kopondo and Oliver Mangeni from KCB. So I think if we can be able to get this game, some of these games live, we'll be able to see that. And but I think it's a decent squad. Jerome is there. He's with Labib, who's the defense coach, who's going to be around. So I think we're going to have a good outing in Hong Kong.
Well, just to echo what you said, it's good to see Neto coming back. The last he played was last year, 2016. Brings in a lot of experience. Biko as a backup flyer, not too bad. Strong soul. Isaac Ademo, as you said, the coach Pavata said, not all is done. Once he works on his discipline issues, he can get back to the team because, as you said, he's a great talent. Strong squad traveling. I believe we'll have some good games over there, especially the Russian against Russia. that should be a good game.
I really hope we get to watch those games.
Yep.
I think that would just be awesome.
That's true.
I really we'll get some opportunity to stream it, I suppose.
I hope so. Anyway, now moving back to sevens just for a little. Kenya Sevens didn't travel down to Namibia for ASSUPOL Sevens. And I mean, that was very unfortunate, and it was apparently, it was because of visa issues, and consequently didn't go for a camp in South Africa, and we don't know about Southland Sevens. What's your take on this?
Oh, just a correction, they're supposed to go to Stellenbosch in South Africa for the ASSUPOL Sevens,
Yes.
and then Namibia for Southland
Yes,
Sevens.
yes.
So the official story that the union is spinning is that visa issues. Number one, if that's the story you're going to stick to,
Stick to it.
not even stick to it. You knew about you guys traveling.
Yeah.
You knew. I mean, we were talking about ASSUPOL 7 2 weeks ago. You're going to apply for your visas the week you're supposed to be traveling.
Yeah.
South Africa, come on, let's get serious. And it's coming out. That's not the true story. The true story is that apparently they didn't even have the tickets to Stellenbosch. So then you spin a story saying that the problem is that visa. Come on, guys. We are way past that. Those are problems Uganda should be dealing with, not us. Come on, especially sevens. Those are problems we should not be dealing with. So I feel somebody dropped the ball in the union, and you should take the hit for it. Don't tell us about this nonsense about visa applications. Those are lies.
I mean, there was also this other story with rumors of KRU directors saying that there wasn't enough competition.
Quality competition.
Yes, quality competition for the boys down there.
As simple as Nash has said, it's just a case of mismanagement of the whole situation. Remember, Safari Sevens has already been cancelled. These guys have not trained at all, not had a proper tournament to warm up for the series. Don't be surprised if you go to the series Dubai without having played any tournament. This thing about Southland Sevens, they're coming back from the high performance training in Nanyuki on the 10th of November. And that's when the Southland starts. So at what point do they travel and get settled there to play
Let's
that
just say we're not going.
done.
Yeah.
That has just done it. I think they should have just registered Shuja as part of the national circuit.
By the way,
Played in the 7th series.
The series.
Well,
Maybe
I mean-
then, it would have been some exposure, and seen we would have known what we needed to work on.
Yeah.
It's really terrible. It's such a sad situation. I wish, as you said, these guys can get the office in order.
now, just a downer after that. The Three Quarters podcast would like to offer our sincere condolences to Mike Okombe's family, his friends, Nakuru Rugby Fraternity, and the Rugby Fraternity as a whole. I mean, we got the privilege of seeing him play, and I think you guys want to say something small about it.
Yeah, it's most unfortunate the events that happened this past weekend. Of course, Mike Okombe passing on. For those people who don't know Mike Okombe, he played for Nakuru. He applied straight for Western Bulls first, then went to Nakuru. He won 2 Kenya Cups in Nakuru, 2013 and 2014, and he was on the verge of moving to Cabras. It's funny that during Floodlights we were actually picking the team for Cabras in this coming Kenya Cup season, and Okombe was one of the people there. I think about when we were in Kampala for Elgon Cup this year, at the bar I had a conversation with Simba's captain, Wilson Kupondo, and I asked him who was the one player he felt that he missed from the team. And Okombe's name in the rugby circle was Shitty. Guys used to call him Shitty, and he told me the guy he misses the most on the pitch is Shitty. And it's because Okombe did the dirty work, the work that no one wants to do. We've talked about the breakdown. Remember, the whole international season, we've been talking about how our breakdowns have been poor. That's the work Okombe used to do. He used to tackle and breakdowns. And he was a very integral part of the Kenya Simbas team. I mean, there's no doubt that we're going to be filling that gap. We're going to be filling, Shitty not being there. That gap at number 7 is large. And whoever's going to be given the task to fill in number 7 spot, you're going to be filling in some very big shoes.
Indeed, I agree with you, Nash. One of the best tacklers, if not the best that we've had. And at the breakdowns, as you said, the guy was always there. I think closest rival to that would be Chisanga, maybe, who has been always fighting at the breakdown, trying to overturn. So it's a big talent that we've lost. And just to reiterate again, condolences to Rugby family and his family at large. Okay, the other way around. Yeah. But we really miss that talent. And as you said, big shoes to fill for the number 7.
All right, now on a brighter note, South African rugby legend Jean De Villiers was here in Kenya at Nondiscripts at the Red Lion. and you guys got to see him.
Yeah. It's a tradition that Nondis have been having over the years. It's funny that guys really diss Nondis, but then they're the ones who bring all these good things. Anyway, it's a tradition that they normally have during their annual dinner to bring a legend, a rugby legend. So a few years back, they brought Butch James, former South African fly half. Last year, of course, when us guys are starting the 3 Quarters podcast, they brought David Campisi. And this year, the guest was Jean De Villiers. So he was here for the annual dinner, and of course, he had a coaching session with the Nondis first team on Saturday morning. And I was just saying, like, guys like De Villiers are guys who've been playing rugby from when they were like 5-6 years. So the basics, they have the basics, right? And it's very simple things. He was showing the Nondis team. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like you can just do these guys are talent. How to approach a gap, how to hit the gap, how to pass the ball. Telling like most important, you don't score points without the ball. So the ball is the most important thing, body positioning and all that. So it's good. I mean, it's good for the rugby fraternity to have guys like Jean De Villiers coming. And of course, he granted us an exclusive interview. You can watch it on the YouTube channel. And it's just great. I mean, 109 tests, 37 as captain of South Africa, 27 tries. It was just good to have such a legend.
Being a Boca fan, you can imagine how excited I was when having met him, excited to meet him actually. And I'd say it's a good program that Nondis have going, bring in these stars. I hope it can literally translate to them improving. Because the little time that this guy has spent to the club, and I'm sure the impact that he's made is immense. Because this guy had to go through a lot of hurdles, and it's all about the mind as well. This guy, I think, the little time that he had with the players the next day, especially that morning, just before the interview, I'm sure he must have imparted some serious knowledge, and I can only hope that it translates to an improvement of the game, especially the Nondis side.
I hope you brought me souvenirs.
Wow.
That's all.
Yes, you got a signature.
That's all I want.
Yes, signature.
That ball is now mine.
We'll talk about it.
All right, now on to international rugby. The World Rugby Board recommended that South Africa host the 2023 Rugby World Cup, although the council will come up with a decision on the 15th of November.
Yes.
I think this is good for us. Right?
It is good for us. It is good for the quintessential rugby supporter in Kenya because South Africa is just down there. You can be able to go there. Stone throw away, exactly. But I think also generally for rugby is good because Ireland was always going to be a tough sell. Forget about it being a new market. It was always going to be a tough sell. 2 things for me. Number 1 is the weather. The weather during the Rugby World Cup would have been crap. I mean, Ireland already has crap weather, so you can imagine. You can imagine that.
He's already complaining about floodies. Now you're taking him to Ireland,
Ireland's weather is already crap. That's number 1. Number 2, they've never organized a tournament of this magnitude, so it was going to be a logistical nightmare for them. So France, of course, was going to be tough because they had the 2007 World Cup. So it's good for it to come back to Africa. I think South Africa are going to put up a good show if, of course, the World Rugby Council approves the recommendation given by the board. But we just wait until November 15, and it's highly unlikely they're going to turn it down. But let's wait and see if it's indeed approved. I think South Africa is a good pick.
Yeah, I think they listen to our supporters because we're really wishing for the South African one. But as you said, Ireland would have been good considering it's going to be a new market. They've had kind of a small tournament. They've hosted the Women's World Cup.
Yeah.
So, I give them some credit a little bit there.
Yeah. But as guys have hosted Sekafa.
Just take it away. Anyway, I think it's going to be a good choice, and it's nothing much. I don't think anything will change come the 15th of November, because I think the decision that the council came up with, it carries a lot of weight. So. Yeah, I see us still going to South Africa.
Yes, correction. The decision, the World Rugby
Board.
Yes.
Not the council that will make the decision.
Yes. Well, guys, if there are any girls who are, looking to go, Ngara is taking a +1. He's taking a +1. No, Ngusale. Yes, Ngara is taking a Guys, remember you can like our page on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Demi Duffield.
This is Ngashi, official noisemaker.
Jeringus Kenyana.
See you in part 3. Well, you're going to take it. Hey, Bola.